I grew up in a Christian home. My parents had a great relationship with Jesus, and everyone knew it, so I fell under their umbrella of faith. My last name is Turner. Following Jesus comes with the territory. Then, life took a turn that I never saw coming. All of a sudden, I wasn't sure who I could depend on for faith. There was no one, except for Jesus. I finally realized I couldn't just depend on my parents for my relationship with Jesus. I need him for myself. The journey hasn't been easy, but I can confidently say that I am following Jesus for myself, and I am allowing him to put the pieces back together. My name is Eliza Turner, and this is my yearbook.
What's up, Wake? My name is Eliza Turner, and I'm a senior at South Forsyth High School. Stone Creek and Wake have been a part of my story for a long time. Seriously, I have a resume full of things I've been a part of. I started going to Stone Creek Kids, and some of the girls I met there are still in my small group today. I moved all the way up, and finally, I made it to Wake. In between all that, I fell in love with serving here. Let me tell you some of the things I've been a part of. I started in Stone Creek Kids. I now lead the motion team and a 5th grade girls small group there. I've also worked at Camp Arrowhead the past few years and been to Guatemala on mission a total of 6 times. I've also been a student ministry intern here for the past 2 years. No, I'm not paid, but I'm up here all the time. Some of the things I've been a part of are preparing crafts in Stone Creek Kids and helping with the finances. I also help with all things Wake. Set up and tear down. I get to go to schools and invite people to Wake. I get to sit in meetings where I planned out pause and planning the escape. And if you're a 6th grade girl, you love when I ask to take your picture for the Instagram story. A few other fun things about me. My favorite food is chicken pot pie. I know that's weird. I can speak Spanish, and I love selfies. I checked my camera roll for this, and I realized I have over 600 selfies. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm sure you can tell I love this place, the opportunities to serve, and the community I've found here. I have found some of the greatest friends and mentors here. I wasn't always so dedicated, though. I didn't always have a relationship with Jesus or a passion for serving. I didn't always look forward to church every week or want to spend all my free time here. I wasn't always so dedicated. For a long time, I went to church because my parents worked there. My dad was a preacher at most of our churches, and my mom worked either writing for the churches or in the kids' areas. I really did believe in God, the miracles he performed, and the love he had for me, basically all the stories I learned growing up in the church. I loved to read my Bible. I would always bring it on family vacations and read my family a story or a verse in our hotel room before bed. I really loved God, but only because my parents did. It wasn't until I was brought to a place of total confusion and hurt that I really looked to God for myself. In the beginning of 8th grade, I found out my parents were getting divorced. I was super confused and upset by this news. My mind was going a million miles per hour, and I had a lot of questions. My first thoughts were probably similar to a lot of you guys who share this aspect of life with me. I wanted to know where I was going to be living, if I was going to have to move, what would happen on Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving, all that stuff. But as time passed, I realized that the reason I was so angry, so disappointed, was because everything I knew about God was reliant on everything my parents believed and lived out. I assumed everything that they did and said was what God desired for me. So when one of them messed up, I was left feeling so confused. I had looked to them for my sense of right and wrong, and just assumed that they were looking to God, so I didn't have to. It took me a while to realize all of this, and it was a really big spot of darkness in my story. At Pause 2015, now towards the end of my 8th grade year, we talked about a story in the Gospels of Peter and his friends fishing. They had worked all night trying to catch fish, and they had caught nothing. Jesus sits down and teaches the people a lesson. After doing so, he tells the fishermen to put out their nets, and they catch so many fish, their nets break. At the end of this story in Luke 5, Jesus says to Peter, "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching men." And when they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him. At the end of the weekend, this question was asked to us. What is our net that we need to leave behind? What is something we need to drop in order for our relationship with God to be its greatest? Peter and his friends left everything behind to follow Jesus. So what was it we needed to leave behind? We were given time to respond as we moved outside for a response. As I thought about it, I realized that my net was my parents' relationship with Jesus. I needed to drop that and follow Jesus for myself. We dropped little nets into a bonfire, and I prayed for my own relationship with Jesus. I wanted to have the confidence to go to him with anything. I wanted to be able to read his word and take away something for myself. I wanted someone who was always there and would never wrong me. I wish I could stand up here and tell you that from that moment on, I have coasted through life with zero problems ever. It's just not the reality. Creating and maintaining a relationship with Jesus is work. I had to work pretty hard. You'll probably go through seasons of loneliness, sadness, anxiety, or anger. I have before, and I will again. But learning that Jesus is a constant in your life is a game changer. For me, having a personal relationship with Jesus changed everything. For so long, I had built my foundation of faith on my parents' relationship with him. I had to learn the hard way that this will not suffice. If you graduate high school or try to get by in middle school without a faith of your own, it will cripple. I learned firsthand that it is not enough. That relationship will not be sufficient. When life doesn't go the way you expect it to go, or if other people determine who God is to us, we won't know what to do when we're faced with obstacles. So I want to challenge you guys by asking, does your faith stand strong when other people aren't around? Is your prayer life intimate and personal, or does it depend on someone else praying for you? Do you read your Bible because you want to learn more about God and yourself, or because you've been told it's the right thing to do? If you're holding on to someone else's relationship with Jesus in order to stabilize yours, you're doing it wrong. Drop that foundation like the nets Peter and his friends dropped and build a personal new relationship running straight towards Jesus that is yours. Following Jesus for myself changed my life, and I believe it will change yours. My name is Eliza Turner, and that's my yearbook.